Alrighty. There we go. Let me take a look to see how... I'll lower that a little bit. How these sounds are going. The sounds. Let's do, where are we at? Webcam. Bam! There we go. Got me my fancy shirt. Not really. I got fancier shirts than this, but I had to do some Zoom calls today. some stuff, some background stuff, you know. Got my awesome juice / caffeine right here. Just a little like packs of I think they're called Pure Kick. You can get them at grocery stores. Basically, if you mix Kool-Aid and add 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine in them, it's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing some Dark Angel art. So let me actually turn my stuff down on my end so I'm not screaming into the mic. Okay, Dark Angels, I mean, there's a ton of lore and there's tons of factions and stuff. But the one thing I haven't done, what's up, Leonis? What's up, man? So good to see you. Dark Angels are interesting because it's almost like a mix of, you just have your Space Marines, but then it's also a little more gothic, a little more like Cathedral, Assassin's Creed-esque. Like our guy's gonna have a cowl, he's gonna have some cool drapery coming off and stuff like that. Been doing real good. Been doing the art thing, doing freelance art and working with some big companies. So we got on, we did some projects. We did a project for Adidas. I did a project for Warner Brothers. Hired on as a freelancer for Warhammer 40k. So doing that for Cubicle 7. Doing a card game called Varia, which is really fun to play and really, really good. It has other like Magic the Gathering alumni artists working on it. So I'm trying to get into that, like Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, that stuff. So, but you know, take any work. I'll take any work, man. Doing an album cover right now. Working on the next set of Varia stuff. Like, so yeah, work's going good. And I'm able to stream a little bit each week. So at least 2 days a week, if not 3. Oh, thank you so much, Leonis. I appreciate you, brother. Dude, it was funny. I was, I installed a Game Boy Advance emulator on my phone just to kind of have it that way. If I don't have network connection, I can still play something. Because now all the phone games are like, you got to be connected to something. And I got, what is it? The Final Fantasy, not Dawn of Souls. What is it? It's the 1 and 2 collection. And then I remembered that I think that's one of the games that you speedran. Is that right? Like, I know it was some of the retro, real classic, Dawn of Souls, yes. Yeah, it was funny because I also have some Castlevania games on there, like Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow. So I thought Dawn of Souls might be like a... I think it is actually a Castlevania thing. On the DS, because DS, I got you. Yeah, you bet, man. Speedrunning's so wicked. It's so cool. I downloaded Strider for the regular Nintendo. Everyone says that's the first game you need to learn how to speedrun, just because you can beat it in like 4 minutes. I'm still learning how to do the glitch through the wall. Like, basically what you do is you like glitch out, you stand next to the wall, and then you like teleport into it, and then it... Yeah, so I'm learning all that fun stuff. If I don't have other stuff that I need to be doing. But let's hop over to our live scene. Fancy! Cool. So we got this right here. This is what we kind of ended with yesterday. I didn't stream yesterday, but I did kind of get to this point, and I have other Dark Angel art here. to kind of give us, and then just some other cool art from Diego Lorenz, who's a very prolific Warhammer artist. And I want to get like my rendering style pretty solid. So we're still in the block out phases right now of this one, but you can see where I kind of mimicked this hood. I want the hood to be more natural looking, so we're gonna make it almost like an Assassin's Creed hood. And then I did notice, let me bring this up, like this one, he's wearing kind of the robes that are tattered out and stuff. I'm thinking, and also him right here, it almost reminds me of Spawn, like the Spawn cape coming out. So that might be the vibe that we go for. Yeah, Gracie's doing good, man. She is in 3rd grade now. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. She will be, in March, she will be 9 years old. God. It's like time, man. Time is weird. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna refine this. I don't know if I want Duder's face, or if I want a mask. Because some of these are pretty cool, like a nice skull looking mask, Space Marine mask. But see, then there's like the fallen angel look. That's so cool. Oh man, I think she would dig being in a French school, by the way. Like she would like that quite a bit. Let's see. So what I'm actually going to do here, I have, let me move my reference stuff over here. I have, oh, 22 notifications. Huh. I have, is that how it is? Implacios. There we go. Yes. Okay. So here's some of Diego's stuff. And I really like the way he does his Warhammer work. He's worked on Warhammer for a long time. I think he's actually doing one of the covers for one of the Warhammer books I'm going to be in, which is an honor. See, has he done? Okay, so Nurgle stuff. Apostle. I was seeing if he had done any Dark Angels. There's Fallen Angel, but yeah, that's one I had at reference. I just love these colors. And I actually own this game. I have the big box of it. Super rad art. Inspire teaching more. No, you'd be great. You would be amazing. Let's see. What am I looking for? It's one of those things I don't quite know what I'm looking for as far as like inspiration or reference, but you know it when you see it. What do we have? Yeah. Oh, it makes sense to have. Oh, that's cool. Thank you so much. Oh, she'll love hearing that. Yeah, she's big on the makeup, man. She's got that under lock and key. She's super knowledgeable on it. And it's funny because we'll talk about stuff like color theory, like the color wheel, but in different deals, you know. So what I like to talk to her about is the difference between warm and cools, because I don't necessarily think in color very much. I just think in temperature. But it's interesting to have that same conversation, because I mean, at the end of the day, makeup is paint for your face. So like using your natural skin tones and stuff like that, like it's interesting, that overlap of all that color theory and stuff. Let's see what he did on this Plague Marine. That's pretty cool. Okay. And see, it's nice whenever I look through art like this. I'm really glad that he puts his work in progress stuff, because I can tell like where I would be like in the process, you know, being able to look over stuff like this. Like we're kind of in this stage right now with ours. Just sort of block it in, figure it out, get his shape right. I think I'm gonna have his coat come and kind of come down here behind this rock to add some of that depth. And then we're gonna lighten the background a little bit. What I do want to get is like Warhammer 40k Grimdark. So Grimdark is this term that Warhammer has made famous for, like, gothic, cathedral-y, almost like gothic horror colors, like dark blues, dark grays, a little bit of yellow as an accent color. And a lot of fans of Warhammer want Warhammer to get back to this sort of grimdark look. That's funny. This was one of my references for one of my upcoming pieces that Games Workshop gave me. So it's funny to see it on a Google search. So yeah, like this sort of color pass to where the colors aren't super vibrant or anything. In fact, let me bring that over. So the colors aren't super vibrant, but it kind of doesn't matter. That's sort of the appeal. Here we go. Here's some. There we go. See, this is the... Yeah. This is the type of vibe. Yeah, so these are the Iron Warriors. Gotcha. So yeah, we might use that type of color palette. White scars. I mean, that looks really freaking good. See, it's nice because I can tell, like, with these, this is 3D render, but I love still how it has the energy of a painting, you know? That's how I feel about it too. Yeah, she'd be able to put the mascara and the eyeshadow and stuff on me, and yeah, I'd look like a completely different person too. So, come over here. Let's do Dark Angels. Okay. So I do like that I can see the render of the gun pretty well, because that's going to be helpful. Oh yeah, so forearm tattoo. This is actually the, here, let me come back to the big screen. This is the logo for Nexus 6 from Blade Runner, the people that make the replicants. And then on this part of my arm, right here, those are all the Destiny logos. So character classes. We have Hunters, you have Titan, you have Warlock, and then you have the Traveler right here in the middle. My goal is to get this to be a full sleeve of like tech sort of sci-fi stuff. And then what I would like to do is get this arm to be like fantasy. Like I want to do a Lord of the Rings, the One Ring inscription around my wrist, and then bring that up. So yes, so this is an owl. That's actually the big mascot, I guess, of the Philip K. Dick book that Blade Runner is based off of. It's called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And the whole point of Rick Deckard, the character, of basically he kind of comes out of retirement to be a Blade Runner detective, because what he wants to do is he wants to get a real owl for his wife. So they have fake animals everywhere, but to have a real animal is like you're in the class above, like you're a step up. And that's the goal, that's why the owl is so important to it, which is cool. But it's actually, yeah, the crest that Sid Mead made for the movie. I saw it and I was like, I love Blade Runner, so I gotta get it. Gotta get it. Let's see, here's that. So it's funny, these two are actually pretty similar images right here. That same kind of composition, which kind of matches my composition actually. So I would do mine in chunks, but if I were to do it all in one sitting, I'd say, based on like the ornateness and the quality of it, I'd say about 14 hours under a needle. So yeah, which is an annoyingly long time. It's a really long time to sit under there, but it depends on the tattoo artist. Sometimes they will do them like one-offs and be like, hey, we're gonna break this up into 3 or 4 sessions. Or it's like, hey, if you're down, we'll order food and we can get this done today. So yep, 14 hours, man. Because I mean, these right here only take about 45 minutes ish. And yeah, the same thing for this one. These actually took somewhat of an equal amount of time. There's just more dense black in this than there is in this. This is essentially a straight line, few ornate circles and stuff like that. But I mean, I'd be down, man. The only thing is it's so expensive. I mean, to get a full thing, a full sleeve like that's a few $1,000s at least. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it one piece at a time, and kind of over the years it'll make a deal. I'm actually thinking about getting the Warhammer Wrath and Glory, since I work on it, getting that logo up here or somewhere as well, because that would be cool to have a logo for every job I've worked on. That'd be good. So let's Dark Angels, Angel of Darkness. All right. Okay, so we could have something like this. good. That's cool. Oh, Bayard, yeah. Absolutely Bayard Woo. Makes sense. All right. So, here's what we'll do. We are going to come in and we are going to refine this design and these shapes and stuff. And then we're going to block out values. We're going to block out the values in regards to making sure that the shapes look okay. Oh, no, you're good. So yeah, I was just kind of over here looking through more of that concept art stuff. Just getting a collection of concept art here, other people's Dark Angels art to kind of use as a guide when designing our guys. So you can see where the hood comes in, and also kind of the long flowy cloaks, things like that. Same thing here. This is a white scar, but still it shows the, kind of the drapery and the yeah, you can see a lot of the crests. I can't remember, almost like a blessing crest. Basically, each one of these, a priest blesses you before you go into battle to kind of protect you. So usually someone who's all crested up like this has seen some action, which is a cool little story beat, you know? Because see, you'll see even Inquisitors and stuff where they have one or two, but then you'll have people that have entire like conscripts on them, like huge deals, which is cool. I mean, there's so much that I love about Warhammer, about the design and the world building, and it's such a good thing, you know. So I'm actually going to use this Diego Lorenz piece, even though it's not of Warhammer, to kind of get a sense of the shapes and stuff that I want. I think probably a mix of this one and oh, where was it? Probably this one. So we have that right there. What is his crest? Oh, it's kind of like the one that I have. Okay, I could just edit that a little bit. Okay, cool. Twitch panel headers. I can, yeah. So I can still make stuff like that. Usually, the turnaround time is probably going to be pretty quick because the majority of my time is doing illustration. That just takes way longer than graphic design does. But yeah, I mean, I'm still available for that. So if you need stuff, yeah, hit me up, man. We can definitely do something. All right. Let's see. So let's come on in and start rendering this bad boy. So we got that. Let's duplicate. Let's see. Oh, it seems to be a straight shot across. I see. So like... Here we go. Clean the main page. Yeah, man, for sure. We can knock it out for you. No worries. too dark right there, so we will... See, really, this phase is all about getting the correct shapes in. Okay. So this actually comes up a little more, I would say. Here we go. Just trying to get these shapes put into 3D space to make it really start looking like a structured thing of armor, you know? Kind of using this as a guide. So I can actually... Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And we go way back, so you betcha. Usually my main work days are, I mean, they're packed just because of you know, getting client feedback and then working with that and doing iterations. Iterations is really where it is. Like starting a thing and, you know, paperwork and stuff, that's part of it. But really a bulk of the time is spent actually kind of under the, you know, under the needle or whatever, as it were. So, so it's like that's more of it than anything is commissions. And what's kind of nice is whenever they come and surprise you and they're like, oh, by the way, do you want to work on such and such? And like, here's 2 more drafts. And you're like, great. So yeah, you go from not very busy to extraordinarily busy within like, I mean, it really depends. Sometimes within the same day, you can start the day off not knowing what to do. And then by 3 p.m., you have like 3 gigs lined up, you know. But we'll absolutely make time. I know I'm actually going to be doing some design stuff for Marco. He's doing some rebranding of his social media, YouTube stuff. And I'm going to be helping him with that as well, which I'm really excited about too. So in a weird way, it's like the Hobo Nation is still going strong, man, after all these years. Okay, I gotta ask myself, what the hell is this? What is this thing? I had an idea. Was it like a... Let me look at one of these other ones. Was it like a... Is it a pouch? Is that what I was going for? Because that is ridiculous. Let's do this. Let's actually go ahead, get rid of that. That one's good. Which way is his leg going? So if that's his shoulders, his waist has to go the other direction. No, it's good. We can. I'm very much kind of a vibe person. It's like, what vibe do you want? And then, you know, whenever we talk about that, then what I do is I'll probably end up doing like 3 quick sketch ideas. More so like, hey, here's some colors I'm thinking about. Here's sort of the design stuff that I think would look good for that. And then from there, we could just kind of bring it forward, you know. There's that. Oh yeah, I actually do want to do this. Come through here, and then that sort of, you know, let's do the circular looking deal. And then this would be, see, I'm not digging how the drapery looks yet. Now, I'm not super digging how the drapery looks, like his hood. We're gonna reevaluate how that's shaped here in a little bit. Doesn't really feel like a hood to me. Same thing on this. We have that. Something like that. Yeah. And we'll do the same thing here. weird tangents are happening right here. Because these two values are too close. So now do I want to hide that rear leg or do I want to show it off? Because what I could do... And let me get rid of this. It wasn't necessarily working the way I wanted it to. So like... So I'm actually going to hide the reference stuff real quick, and I'm just going to sketch. I'm just going to start painting, not even looking at anything, just to kind of get a feel for where I want certain materials. I like the gun up with the silhouette, kind of like he's looking around, like he's coming up a canyon. He's looking around like he's not on guard necessarily, but like he's got everything where he needs it. And then, yeah, and then we can lock down some of these details. So really where reference comes in most handy, not only for like posing and stuff, especially if you're doing people, but reference comes super handy whenever you're talking about equipment. So like belts, boots, capes, like cowls. That's the stuff that a brand is kind of made off of. So like with Warhammer, the bolter has to look a certain way. If it doesn't look that way, it's wrong. And that's totally fine. You know, I completely understand. They have a probably $1 billion a year industry just by themselves. So like that gun is very important because that's the gun you want to see on your models. That's the gun that you want to buy a model because they're holding that gun and it looks awesome, you know. So right now we're still just getting the rough shapes in, just trying to figure out where we're going from there. But as of right now, direct reference is not the most important thing yet. During rendering it will be. It definitely will be. But right now it's just getting the shape to be believable. Yeah, people pay a lot of money. Well, and it's like if you bring up Final Fantasy, like even you know, different artists and different games have different takes on stuff like chocobos or mogs or moogles or, you know, any of that stuff. But at a certain point, they kind of have to be right. Like, they can't be so far off the beaten path that it's not. And like Star Wars, you know, you can make different color lightsabers and slightly different designs, but at the end of the day, Star Wars is famous for lightsabers, so it has to look like that. Like, there's definitely a design language and a design sense, you know. And it's part of our job as artists to look at that design sense, tweak it slightly for our needs, but then stay true to like the overall vision. Like that. I don't want to get too caught up in the weeds yet, like I said, for rendering. If that's this leg, and then this leg's like further down, like this, and then this is, but it's like coming away from us. Oh, so this knee needs to be like way up here. Yeah, something like that's better. There we go. Okay, so that can be a good holster right here. Not feeling that leg. not feeling that leg. So now we will come and do a little bit of the old reference. A little bit of that old reference. I could totally be a bro and do this and like use part of the outfit to hide that leg, but I won't get better that way. Gotta do the hard stuff. I gotta do the tricky stuff. How the hell are their legs made? So I kind of got the idea. I mean, this is more of like an iron. This is the iron dudes, but the shapes are still similar, you know. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, these poses are almost identical. So maybe I should just redraft mine to look like this. because the weight distribution still works with the way his upper body is and his lower body would be. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna straight up see. This is why reference is like the bomb to use. So let me come over here, and then we will yeah, so this is where that can kind of come into play. Right here, like that. There we go. God, that should actually even be higher, shouldn't it? Let's move his belt. To where it's like up here. And then here, right, yeah. Like, that's the weird thing is weight distribution, especially for stuff like this, is very, very important. Let's see, then this is kicking over too much that way. That's throwing me off. So I will say what's kind of nice is like, okay, and then this. What's kind of nice about working with big clients is now I'm at the point to where like, I don't care if I need to scrap half of my piece. I just need it to be right. You know what I mean? Like, there's that whole thing about like, don't be afraid to kill your darlings. And that's totally true when it comes to this. So if that knee pad comes up, it would catch like, oh, it's not kicking out enough. I see. You know what we're gonna do? Talk about kill your darlings. Check this out. We are absolutely this needs to kick out over longer. So that this is going to come down. Yeah, the legs just aren't right. I'm going to keep that there because I do like that, but we'll just manipulate it a little bit. So it's like now here, because if that's structured right here, this is going to be over like so. And then hide that so it doesn't mess with me. God, maybe even further out. And this needs to, yeah, now his stance needs to widen out quite a bit. Like that. And then that can come down, but then that comes this way. This is more narrow. That comes way in. His leg is not attached. Bonk, bonk, bonk. I'm going to move him out of the way because I just want to see. So if his pelvis is right here, edit, copy, merge, edit, paste. A little too big, but that's getting there. Because his weight distribution, I mean, he's a heavy dude, you know? That's a heavy guy. So he needs to be, like, if he's walking and he's taking these, like, big strides, his stance should probably be, like, bigger. Like a bigger stride, a bigger set. Yeah. So let's see how that looks once I... And then this would actually... do something like this. Get something like that. Bring this, some of this light back here, like clouds and stuff. That lets this work that way. And then with this, seems like his upper body and his lower body are not on the same perspective grid, which can cause an issue because it's almost like his body's doing one of these. Like his upper body is looking down, but then his legs are looking up. So let's scrap it again. Well, let me try something. If that's back here, this is right here. Yeah. I'm just gonna redo his lower body, I think. So that's really what this what if this leg's forward? It's funny, you'll see a lot of artists, what's up? What's up, Big Death? So the weight distribution, you'll see a lot of artists, especially magic artists, whenever they take their reference, they take photos of themselves doing a pose. That way they can have... Would he be top hit? I wonder if... Because at first, whenever I started kind of the sketch, I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of, he's dead on. You know, he's like facing forward. Not necessarily. His torso is like slightly, so he's almost like leaning into it. Like you see a lot of that with Warhammer art, where they're gonna like lean into their steps, you know what I mean? Because they have just such big ass battle armor, power armor, whatever you want to call it, and like they're trudging along. So to pick up that amount of weight and just move it, even though they're superhuman, even though they're genetically predispositioned, they're like 10 foot tall. You know, Space Marines are massive, no matter the chapter. They have a lot to lift. So that sense of weight is really important. And I think what my thing was is I was just trying to paint it like a dude, just like a duder. Like, oh, here's his leg, here's this. That's not necessarily the case. Because I mean, and something that makes me feel better, and I will say this. You know, I'm trying to solve that problem right now of like, holy crap, how do I make this anatomically correct and all this other stuff? All of these other actual, and this is a Black Library cover. This is full on, you get White Dwarf magazine, whatever. You get art like this because it's incredible. They didn't worry about that shit. they put the cloth and stuff over it, which is totally on every single one of them. And that's not a cop-out, though. Like, that might be the most effective way to deal with that problem. In fact, I think it is the most effective way to deal with that problem, now that I'm looking at it. Because if his gun... Yeah, because if his gun is like this, and he's looking down, and he's like... He has one leg out... Yeah. Yeah. That'll be good. Let's robe them up. So how do these robes... It looks like it's almost like a vest that gets tucked in to where the belt is. And then it expands out from there, almost like a... not a girdle, but yeah, it looks like it's a big drape and they just tuck it into their pants. So like a tabard, gotcha. Okay. So, in that regard, this would come over here. This part would come over here. And I know that's light, the value's all wrong on that. And then, yeah, we'll just basically look at that reference, and I know what's also causing a weird illusion. I need to fix up by his neck because the crest is not facing, the crest is slanting up while his neck is looking down, which is fine, but it also means he'd be doing one of these which is not what he's doing actually. So yeah, because see, if you look at these other ones, this is following the, and mine kind of does, but this, we're seeing the top of it. Like, we're seeing the top of his collar. And ironically, by the way, I narrate like this to myself when I'm in private working on NDA stuff. Like my wife always watches me. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like standing up and doing all these weird poses. I'm like, "How is that supposed to? That's it's ridiculous." It's like really only 20% of this is actually painting. The other one is like figuring out weird ass design decisions. So I mean, we're getting closer in regards to, like, I feel pretty good about this top little area. I do need to do his crest, but then it's this to like to deal with, you know, because if this is like a belt like here, is that where the belt would be? Yeah. So he has like his sashes, his belt type stuff here. The tabard would be tucked in. Same thing here. And it would also block that a little bit, right? This would follow more of his shape. So this would be darker. That would hit right there. And then we got our tabard here. I'm actually gonna darken this because check this out. The nice thing about this is this has exactly the same lighting as what we're gonna be doing because we have this backlight. Really all Warhammer stuff has really bright background light and then everything's really dark coming up front just because it reads well. It reads well even at a small scale, which is great for like card art and stuff. So what we're gonna do, thank you reference, we are going to put this at grayscale and then just copy these values. And this should actually answer a lot of what we're running into. So that seems quite a bit darker, like going almost on the full black. And I'll actually have to go in and render out his arm and what that looks like here in just a bit, but I'm thinking it would be like that. Maybe a little darker back here since it's not facing the light and it's made out of a nice material. Same thing here. Okay, something like that. And that's going to drape across the leg. Come back over here like that. Thanks, reference. Yeah, that's already looking a hell of a lot better. Like, I feel way better about that. Even this tabard part though is going to come out a little more, so it's like I'm going to kind of drape that out. And then it's going to catch some light. And then we can check to see if there's any like seal or anything, you know. This is going to be a thicker leg though, so because that's coming towards us. So now we have a thicker deal right there. And then that's a sphere. So it is going to a little bit, and then that little bit of bounce light. Yeah, all right. Feels a little cheaty, but that's fine. Hey, at least this, yeah, and then we can have something hanging off the belt right here. Hey, but at least it's, lore accurate. You know what I mean? And then here. You can see how that rim light hits that as well. So, yeah. While we're here, we can add the nice little temporary symbol. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay. I mean, that's kind of a mess, but and then knowing my luck, like, let's say I were doing this for Games Workshop, they'd come back and be like, "We love it. We don't like them with the tabard." And I'd be like, "Shit." That's always a fun thing though, is like, usually as an artist, the one piece and the one thing, like, let's say you make 4 different sketches. I usually make 3, but let's say you make 3 or 4. Every time, the one the client picks is the one that you either didn't spend a lot of time on, because you're like, well, I kind of have this idea, but I don't know if it's going to work, but let me just put it out there just to see. Or it's the one that you actually don't like as much as the other ones. Every time they will pick that one. Every time. So what I've learned in the past year is make 3 that you really want to do, so that way they pick one of them. Don't be like, well, you know, here's this one and it might be okay, I guess. They will pick that one, and you're going to spend 100 hours rendering out a piece that you didn't feel strongly about anyway, you know. Yes, and that's, you say that. I take it from me, man. A company that makes paints are serious about their colors. I can, once Forsaken Systems is out, I can tell some stories about it. They're all great stories, and I learned so much. And like, I'm so stoked to work on the next thing. But like, they are hardcore about it. It's like, that green is off by that much. That orange, that's not this brand's orange. Like, they do give you a lot of leeway. I'm not gonna say they're full on. They're not super, like, they won't budge on it. But if there's a way to get their stuff in there, do it. Like, if there is like a bone white, or if that sort of thing, go ahead and do it. And what's nice though is that they got the heavy metal painters that show you what, like, here's how we painted the face. We use this color. And I'm like, I'm gonna screenshot that, color pick, bam, bam, bam. Like, it's super nice. But yeah, they don't joke around about it. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is I am going to begin doing some subtle rendering. So this is the part, well, actually, let me fix this arm real quick. How are his arms? Big old container. How's his arms? Big old container. Great. His are the same way. Okay. Just a joint. Just a joint. Okay. Oh, and then he does have an elbow pad-esque thing. So what angle do we have here? We have, if he's like this, and then his elbow is kind of more like this. So this piece would be, if we wanted to give him an elbow pad, be like that. Yeah. And like, cause this one looks almost a little more like a paladin. Cause I mean, the whenever I looked up Dark Angels, they gave me some Imperial stuff. They gave me, so yeah, would it just be really the main tube and then the other tube, like, connected? That's what I'm seeing. You know what we could do? We could go to the source. Oh, I gotcha. So let's do Dark Angels Games Workshop. So we are making, would ours be considered? Okay. Who are you? What is this? What kind of animals is these? Wait, where's the other one? Where's the other dude? Okay, Supreme Grand Master. So it's like a veteran squad. Oh, yeah, because that would be the emblem. Yeah, that's the emblem right there. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. Oh, thank you, Leonis. Yeah, absolutely. We will just shoot me like a Twitch whisper. Just send me a message on Twitch and we'll talk about it. You bet. But yeah, take care. It's great to see you. And I will tell Britt that you were able to hang out today, so this is what we got, huh? View image. Okay. So would these be... Veteran squads, finest warriors, gathered together in a single squad and deployed. Okay, so they're like SEAL team. Each veteran has access to a range of equipment inherited from former squad members or gifted to him in recognition of his great deeds. All right. Okay. Okay. So this is a Primaris lieutenant. Oh, okay. Oh, that's funny. And I kind of have his hilt right here too. I already have that going on. Over on this side, a little bit. Oh. Keep hitting the wrong tab. There we go. Yeah. It's it's almost the same pose too. He's holding up the deal. Okay, so he does have the straight, the cuff, and elbow pad. I'll have to change the insignia on his knee. And then, do they have the 3D view of him? Yes. What are we looking at, Bubba? Soriel. Okay. Oh, and this is nice. See, this is why I love working with Games Workshop. It's because they take very detailed pictures that you can always come back to for reference. Like, it's funny because I discussed it with Sam Manley. He's one of the other big artists, but he's kind of one of the main artists for Cubicle 7. But he, he does a lot of Warhammer 40k stuff. He does Warhammer Fantasy and all that as well. But we talked about, when in doubt, use the model. So he's done stuff to where he's just taken pictures of models. Like, he's gone to the Games Workshop store and it's like, let's figure that one out. How does this look? Which is a good idea. I am glad that they have the 360 view, because now I can see, okay, he has this kind of the tome right here. He has his gun holster. He has a few probably ammo pouches or something right here. So that's how the armor is going to look for him. He also has the tabard coming down with a little bit of the kind of the holy stuff right here. Okay. That'll be a dark green. Yeah. So what I am going to do, let me bring up the snipping tool. One of the best things on the planet for screenshotting. New right here. Got it. Copy. Paste. So we're actually going to have a full litany of these set up. So let me set this up real quick. Oh, wrong one. I need that blaster for sure. What else do I need? I have his leg, this leg. Probably need a more straight shot of that leg. Oh, like that. Well, there we go. Something like that. And then okay. This will get us going. Yeah, this will get us going a little bit. Okay, cool. Seems like the tabard's much lighter. Much, much lighter. I'm gonna get rid of that real quick because we can come in and make a face later, or we can put the thing on him. That's fine too. Because right now that is not our priority. First priority, let's get rid of that skull. Yeah, let me. Flare that out a little bit. There we go. And then this will actually be lighter. I probably am going to look at a Assassin's Creed cowl by the end of this to get that nice shape to it. But for right now, this is a decent little block in. Right. So yeah, now that I'm getting into kind of the rendering stuff, it feels a little better. Feels a little better. Still have like some shape stuff to do on the legs and everything, but what I'm thinking is just kind of work my way down. Then I'm gonna come back and start doing accessories, so stuff like the gun, since we have the pretty good image right here that we can kind of base it on. It's funny how, you know, it's not exactly right, but I kind of got the right stuff. I remember kind of the square, almost the photon type of charge area and things like that. So, and this one doesn't have a, I guess I have a different type of gun because I put the little magazine clip, but it was just another way for me to tell which way the weapon was pointing, you know, as he's holding it up. So yeah, and what's funny is once we get to an area to whenever we start rendering and stuff like that, like really rendering, like with color and mood and everything, you know, I'll definitely want to go more towards this one's a plasma. Yeah, that makes sense. And then mine's like the bolter, the standard kind of, I guess they're standard issue, the ones with the mags. That's the one I always see like Blood Ravens and stuff use. So I don't know how Dark Angels and other, I don't know, are they different sides of the warp? I don't know. My lore knowledge is not up to snuff. And yeah, this is another Diego Lorenz piece. It's a fantasy thing, just a sketch, but this is the type of vibe. The very nice, dirty skulls and, you know, stuff like that. So, but yeah, and as you can see here, just the nice blowouts behind it. I might actually lighten some of this, like, in fact, let me try that right now, because that might really help sell this. Kind of have that same vibe right here, and then you like come in super bright and like carve away. Same thing there. Then that comes down. So what that does is it really adds kind of that background nuance to it, but you don't want it to be so so much of a tangent that like it doesn't look right. So yeah, do we want that sort of like the buildings coming up type thing, like one of these? That kind of cuts that into there. Just do like cool patterns with the oh, you know, it'd actually be pretty dope now that I'm looking at it. If we made the negative space, or like the light, the way the light is hitting, if we want to do like a cross, and then our boy is like right there in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Like we can make the of course we'll come in and render and add smoke and all that stuff around, and like maybe photo bash some old cathedral buildings and things like that, but this at least builds a it's almost like a line saying, hey, look at me, look at me. Stardust. Oh, is that short film? Yeah, so I saw a little bit of it, and I saw it in context of like, wasn't it only like 1 or 2 people that made it? And I saw it, remember being blown away, like, oh my god, like, people are so good at things. Like, what in the one guy? That's insane. That is insane. But yeah, that's a good idea. And what's nice is there are places online like Sketchfab. Sketchfab is kind of a godsend. So if I come over here and you can see, I think I actually have some collections called Warhammer. That, yes, so yeah, like here's a Valkyrie. So like whenever I need a good 3D model screenshot thing, sort of how we took the pictures on the Games Workshop page, here's people fan art kind of modeled stuff, but static pose, you can get any angle and you can like match the angles to what your piece is and stuff. So this is what a lot of people do. A lot of the pros do this as well, to make sure that their stuff is like exactly how it needs to be. Because yeah, I mean, and they'll have custom collections. And of course you'll not use the exact pose and stuff, but what it is really helpful for, like you said, let's say if we just got our ultramarine here, and then as it's kind of loading in, you can see, yeah, so you can see how stuff would be. Hey, what's up, Hollow? Thanks for watching. Yeah, so the best way to get reference is to look at the real thing. I mean, that's just how it is. Also, another thing people don't give enough credit for is Source Filmmaker. You know the thing where they make the goofy Team Fortress 2 videos and stuff? Source Filmmaker is one of the best drag and drop 3D model softwares I've ever seen. Because you have fans that have like, oh, Total War Warhammer. Yeah, all of those things are on, and you know, I'm not saying this is legal or whatever, but this is reality. Oh, let's take the lizard men and let's export their model from Total War and then import it as a Source Filmmaker thing. So then you can go in, you have a rigged 3D model of the thing, and then you just start messing around, adding lights. How does this look? It's invaluable. Stuff like that is, 3D gets a weird bad rap, and I don't think it should, because I can't tell you how much time it saved me. It saved me dozens, if not hundreds of hours of research and stuff, because what I can do is take a picture of a 3D thing and send that into my art director and be like, so do you want it lit like this? Like, do you want that sort of vibe? And they'll say yes or no. Or, hey, can you make that light a little more green or a little more pink? Like if it's getting hit with fire, what does it look like a little more orange? I can adjust the light and send in another picture in less than 1 minute. I don't have to repaint. I don't have to redo any of that crap. I could just send in a light and be like, you mean like that? Okay, great. Then I color pick from the screenshot and then you're done. It's the best, man. I mean, I'm not going to say 3D is the future. I think knowing 3D is going to be helpful, but it's also like, why would I want to repaint everything all the time forever? I have 10 prompts I have to do in a month. No way. Like, I don't understand that. And whenever people tell me, it's funny on like online forums, you can tell the people, I can't believe they use 3D reference. I can't believe they use picture reference. I guarantee you that person is an amateur. They do not work in any industry. Guaranteed. Because they would work too slow. You're just too slow. You can't, I mean, we've been painting on this for what, an hour and 46 minutes? I did about an hour last night. So, I mean, I could reasonably send this to an art director. In fact, I've had stuff rougher than this that I turned into Cubicle 7 and Games Workshop. Both have been approved. You know what I mean? Because they know where it's headed. Like, this is good enough to be able to send, and that's 2 hours of work. 8-hour workday, you got 4 comps. Like, come on now. The business is different than people think it is. But I will tell you at the end of the day, if you cannot draw a box in perspective, if you don't have your fundamentals down, buddy, you're going to have a tough time. That's actually one of my main things right now. That's why you'll see on my social, I do a lot of portrait studies and like realism paintings. Not because I want my art to look realistic, but I want it to look believable. There's a difference. There is a difference in realism versus believability. And I think it's critical to have your art be believable, because that's going to add to the validity of it. That's going to add to the design senses and, you know. Like, art directors are going to look at it and be like, yes, that's what we're looking for. People don't know what they want until they see it. So your job is to make it look as believable and as good as possible. Actually, let me do that. Let me bring this back down. Because just kind of messing around with the hood right now. I don't need to, but it's fun. It's fun. So I think I'm actually just going to make this a bolter. I like the whole machine gun feel more than I like the plasma. Not to say anything wrong with a plasma gun. They'll equally mess you up. But I like the vibe from like the chunk of the ammo, you know, of the rounds coming out. Because when I think Space Marines and factions and stuff, that's what I think of. Like, you're shooting a thing, man. You are shooting that chaos. You are shooting the enemy. Then actually what I'm going to do, that's a little too dark for my taste back here. Let's do bring this more in line with some other rocks and things like that. See, that's the fun thing about doing stuff like this, is you never really like... In fact, I can bring this up a little bit. you can always mess around with the background. As long as it's framing the character okay, you're fine. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Gonna get hard round opacity. Hard round is like the best thing. If there's one brush to use for everything, hard round is it. Especially with opacity settings, because the harder you press down, the more fluid of a motion it's going to be. Okay. I don't want to mess up the value structure here. And then if this is coming in to get tucked in, it's going to be like extruding out from the main tuck point, right? That's how cloth works. Let's separate that out a little bit. Actually, no. Let's lose some of the edges. Let's go in the opposite direction. Kind of make this look a little better that way. That. All right. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, bring back our boy. Let's do that knee pad. Let's do that knee pad. And then after we do this knee pad, that might be it for today's stream, because we're approaching on the 2-hour mark. I will be streaming again tomorrow and on Friday. I think by Friday we should get this one wrapped up, I think. So that'll be what, a nice 2, 4, 6, 8-hour piece, you know? So if we come over here, get this quadrant here, get that quadrant here, and then get something a little like that. That's a little too dark. There we go. And then what we do, get this to lighten this a little bit. And then we will get this to darken this a little bit. And then It's a little too bright, but we'll temper it down a little bit. There we go. And that's where the bolter was over here, right? Actually, the other way. Nope, yeah, it was over on that side. Did he have two? Oh no, that's the tome. Okay. Well, that could be his blade holster. Who cares? Who cares? Just give him some dope stuff. Okay, cool. Okay. Something like that, something like that. And then here. And it's fun, kind of a nice little trick that I found. If you want something to have atmospheric perspective, don't add details to it. Don't add any details at all. Because what you'll see here is I just made the shape, but I made it one, you know what I mean? I pretty much made it one value. No lines, no structure lines or anything like that. And then as you look at it, since it's lighter, that looks like it's fallen back more. Anything darker is going to come towards the viewer. Anything lighter is going to go away from the viewer. If you're setting up your lighting in this way, you could always set it up to be reverse. That way, if the viewer is a spotlight, the closer something is, the lighter it is. Further back it is, the less light. But with what we have right here, our main event is going to be, our main subject's going to be in the foreground, darker, always darker. So what we'll do probably next time, we'll be refining some more for sure. In fact, I'll probably get started streaming earlier and stream for a little longer, probably closer to 3 hours next time. We're going to add some buildings here, because that is the one thing I do like about working on Warhammer, is you get to add some really dope looking Gothic cathedral-y. You can see some flags. There's an Imperial symbols, some cool stuff, blaster rounds, and all that stuff. And then here you have comets coming in and explosions and then, yeah, so here you see the city kind of in the background in that distance and that smog and fog. We'll probably do something a little like this. Actually, quite a bit like this, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, we can even add the little specks of fire and stuff. And then what's cool, let me turn this off of grayscale. We can come in and actually add this type of color in there. Of course, we'll have that green right here. So, yeah, we'll have that green, that nice kind of yellowy, brown, nasty been in the dirt and the muck type stuff. So yeah, still a lot to do. But I'm feeling okay about where it's coming, or where it's going, really, like where it's coming from. Yeah, I think this is getting a decent vibe. I really just want to lock in everything in the positions, because then I can really push it to refinement. I want this to be, I would like this one to be rendered at a quality that it could be a black library cover. So it's actually going to be a little tighter than what I normally work. But this will be a safe thing to do. One, because I get practice doing Warhammer art. So anytime I need to do more Warhammer art, I'll have this to kind of fall back on. But two, I have been wanting to experiment on a few rendering techniques, but I'm not going to do that on a client piece, especially a big name client piece, if I don't have to, because that's not the time to experiment. That's the time to know your thing and do it and get it done and assembly line it and get it exactly the way they want it. Messing around with new techniques and stuff is not the way to do that. Like, you can do it on your personal stuff. That's actually what I use my personal stuff for, is to practice a technique I want to take forward into my jobs. But yeah, overall, like, I feel good because now he has his weight distributed properly. Whenever we first started, he didn't. But yeah, Big Des, thank you for the put a tabard on him. Yeah, it worked out well. Yeah, and I could maybe put in the face with the augment eye. I could do that. But spoiler alert, one of my actual Warhammer pieces has quite a few augment eyes in it. Oh, those are fun to paint. So yeah, we may pick up some like Assassin's Creed art and look at that next time. Try to get that vibe of the cowl looking over and the face protruding and all that. But basically, I just want this to look dope. I want this to be one of those things that people want to buy prints of. And so we're about a third of the way there, maybe. Nah, actually, probably a fifth of the way there. Overall, not bad. I'm happy. I mean, this is kind of what we consider the ugly painting phase. We can see what it's going to look like. It's just not there yet. So, and then yeah, once we start splashing color on there, I think it's really going to start popping once we add that color in. I think it's going to look really good. But anyway, that's my time for today. Hollow, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. So that's it for today. Yeah, I'll be back probably around the same time, maybe even a little bit earlier tomorrow. I do have some client work I need to work on. Some new card for Varia. Yay! This will be my third card. Yes. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys saw the Cubicle 7 updates. They're going to be announcing some new stuff soon. So go follow that, because my art will be in some of that stuff. I can't announce what it is yet, but they can. They can announce it. But just know this stuff is just, some of the ideas they have are dope. Because the whole idea is, like, for Wrath and Glory, we're in the Gilead system, which is on the other side of the warp. So, like, the warp, so no one can escape. We're stranded out there. It's called the Forsaken Systems for a reason. There's no law. There's no, stuff's about to get real. Really cool stuff. But once Forgotten Systems, once all the art is out, once it's published, I'm probably going to do a stream doing a Q&A thing, because I actually got to help invent a planet. I'm like, what? So, like, something that I got to make art for and was in those design meetings is going to be, like, part of Warhammer lore forever. And I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But anyway, more news on that. I think Forsaken Systems PDF should be out in the next month or so, and then we can discuss it. So, but yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for the love and the support. We will do some more art, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.